Welcome, photographers, and thank you for dropping into my channel. It's April 14, 2025, and this video is to address two different things. One related to the panorama trip that I had scheduled for this month around the 24th through the 28th of April. We had to delay that. Lori's mom passed away at 101 years old at the end of March, and there were just some things that have to be taken care of, paperwork and all that type of things. So we decided to push out the panorama trip to Monument Valley out to the end of May. So stay tuned for that. So there'll be things happening later in May. But I'm here to launch a project. I made a decision and I've decided to launch Project Tokyo Streets. So this past Saturday night, I made a decision and I purchased airfare tickets to Tokyo. And I also made room accommodations for Tokyo. So this will be in the end of October, beginning of November, when I will travel to Tokyo. I'm going to stay in Shinjuku, and it's kind of the red light district around Tokyo, but there's plenty of things happening there at night and in the daytime. So there's going to be a good mix of possibilities for me to capture street photography, and so I'm looking forward to that. And in the meantime, what I'll be doing is traveling around my immediate area here to start with, looking to develop my street photography skills. When I really first got into photography, it was about portraiture and using controlled lighting in a studio that I had in my home, in my living room. And now it's about getting out and shooting what I consider to be documentary photography. Other people refer to it as street photography, but documenting the life, the vibe of an area. And again, the big trip that I'm committed to right now is Tokyo. But I'll be, as I said, doing videos around the San Francisco Bay Area. Depending on the budget, I may make a trip to New York City as kind of a precursor to go into Tokyo. So we'll have to see. But so there's going to be two tracks on this channel right now. One being the panorama track, and I'll have a playlist for panorama related content focused on nightscapes, but also some daytime landscape panoramas, I'm sure. And then the other track will be the street photography or more documentary oriented photography, and that'll have its own playlist as well. And things that I'll be discussing, not unlike what I did with the first panorama video that I put out. What gear am I using? What bag am I using to hold my gear? What settings am I using? Now again, when I learned photography, I was basically shooting in manual mode, but that was because I had controlled lights. I had monolights, I had light modifiers, I had light meters, and I could control all that light. But now as I venture out into the streets, and let's just take a little, let's see if we can go in here down to Street View, and let's go down, we're already there, let's go APA. This is where I want to go. This is where I'll be staying for 9 nights, and let's see if we could drop the little guy in here to give you a feel. So this is the hotel I'll be staying in, booked for 9 nights. And then as we start to move around, um, there is a famous Godzilla head somewhere around here looking over the building. Uh, but this is a very vibrant area at night. And as we start to go down streets and everything, um, depending on which direction we go, we're going to find, interesting stuff to shoot. At least that's my goal anyway. And we'll just kind of see how that goes. But I wanted to also share with you. I had been to Japan before, and but I was really part of a tour. Lori was with me, and everything was kind of planned. But we did get some free time at night. But I really, well, I carried my Canon 6D at the time with me and a couple of lenses, really nice lenses. I had a really nice 35 millimeter, I think f 1.2 maybe, or 1.4, great for low light situations. I was shooting more like not street. And here are some of the images. We were basically doing a tour of Buddhist temples and Shinto areas and Zen Buddhist temples. And so I was taking more pictures like this. This was kind of a staged photo. And, here, it is a picture of the street, but I really didn't have a subject. I don't really know what I was going for here. This one I did know. I thought, but I was really not shooting really with a focus on what you might call street, trying to isolate individuals, find good light and those type of things. So these are all the things that I'll be having to learn how to do. I mean, these are cool photos, and it was a fantastic tour, and it gave me a taste for Japan. And then with the recent passing of Toshiko, Lori's mom, we now have the freedom to travel. And while Lori and I are going to be in Japan at the same time, she's going to be with three of her girlfriends, and I'm going to be by myself exploring. And so it's kind of an exciting opportunity for me. But I gotta develop the skills. I gotta find my technique. What do I find interesting? What catches my eye? So I think the great thing about documentary photography or street photography is you get to develop your own style. You'll identify what is interesting to you, and you'll try to capture that. And clearly, I'm partial to red, and there's plenty of red in Japan, so that's an interesting opportunity there. All the small streets lined with bars on both sides. I have my 56 millimeter 1.2 lens, I think it is, and that'll be good for shooting at night. And then I'll have with me my 35 millimeter, which is the equivalent to 50 millimeter on my Fuji X-T4 to work with as well. And I'll probably have a third lens. I don't know what that might be yet, but I'm also finding that if you don't have as many options as far as lenses go, that could be a plus. So apologize for my voice. I got a thing going on, I think, with a little bit of a summer cold or spring cold, as well as I'm being impacted by some of the pollen in the air and everything. But I'm very excited. I'm glad I made the commitment, and you know, we'll see how that goes, and hopefully I'll be sharing with you some helpful content on how I'm approaching it, and I would appreciate your feedback on what was working for you and some things I should consider, in particular if you've been to Tokyo doing street photography. I have connected with a tutor, and I'm also using Duolingo. My goal is, with the 6 months I have available for before the trip, is to learn enough basic conversational Japanese so that I can function in Japan. Now, again, having been in Japan before in 2017, and on our free days where we could just kind of roam and not be part of the tour with a tour guide, it was very easy for us to get around in Tokyo. So without knowing really any Japanese. So, and you know, these days with Google Translate and all that, I'm not really worried. But I think to put an effort in, effort never betrays you. So to put the effort in to learn the language, the Japanese language, I think is a sign of respect to the Japanese, who I'll be trying to capture through my street photography. And I'm kind of excited about learning some Japanese. I know basic stuff, but Lori's family, her mom was Nisei. Lori is third generation, although they never really spoke Japanese in the family home, and those type of things. So, all right, just want to give you an update. Definitely the panorama project focused on nightscapes. That's going to happen. We just kind of got delayed because of necessary things that had to be taken care of upon Toshiko's passing. And so, but that content will be on the channel, and the other content will be me walking around, point of view type video with my camera, and kind of sharing my thoughts on what I'm finding interesting, and sharing the images that I'm collecting and those type of things, and then sharing what works, what doesn't work, and those type of things. So, all right. Thanks again for dropping into the channel. Your comments are always appreciated. If you like this kind of content, please give it a thumbs up. As always, like, share, and subscribe. And, you know, I think the best thing that I can do right now is make sure that camera is in my hand, and I'm out, and I'm looking for opportunities. And, you know, something that's sticking in my mind is what a street photographer said. They said, you know, my immediate area may be considered boring compared to Shinjuku and Tokyo and New York City and maybe Chicago, but you just have to look harder for those interesting things. And again, what's interesting, I think, is going to vary by photographer, and it'll be interesting to see what I find interesting and what I'm able to capture. Again, this channel is not about teaching you anything. There's plenty of good videos on YouTube that you can use to learn photography. What I am going to be doing is documenting my journey, and through that process, sharing with you how I'm going about it. Where are my successes? Where are my failures? Keep in mind that failure is the foundation of success. So, you know, I don't think I'm going to go out day one in the immediate area and get like bang up photos or anything. But we'll see. And so if you can somehow learn through the process that I'm going through, I think that's fantastic. But again, I'm not trying to tutor anybody. I will be sharing, like when I'm shooting street, I am now where I shot manual before. Now I will be using aperture priority, And as I'm going about on the walkabouts and that, I'll explain some of those reasons on why I have moved to aperture priority and those type of things as well. So, okay, thanks for dropping into the channel. Arigato gozaimasu. Till next time.